Friday afternoon live stream. Hello, Annika. We're going to give people a couple more minutes. Already my nose is itching, so that's a sign that it's going to be go time today. I was actually just doing a reading for TikTok that might go on the YouTube, what is it? The minis channel. There we go. It's words. What are we going to do? I want to know how everybody else is feeling as they hop on here. I appreciate everyone's patience. I know this video got rescheduled twice this week. I can't even remember what was happening. Oh, the first time was just pure sleep deprivation and exhaustion. Parenthood at its finest. And the second reschedule was like a weird dental emergency that I had. That's all taken care of now. Here we are. I don't know about anybody else, but I feel like the analogy that I was feeling for just life right now is it feels like my life is a bus that nobody is driving. It's just got a brick wedged on the gas pedal, and it's just fucking going full speed ahead. And I feel like I'm just chasing after the bus. That's what my life feels like right now. I'm just like, I don't know. So I figured the best thing to do for this live stream today was to go over the energies for the next couple weeks in case I'm not able to do like an energy like your week ahead, because I think it was a really nice idea that I had to get that started. But yeah, we might have to start doing that just on the live streams for the time being, while these energies are just taking us for the ride that they're taking us on, and then just do additional stuff as it pops up. I'm feeling more like the go with the flow kind of energy here. It's really the only thing that we can do as we continue to move forward, and things are just going to get more and more intense as we move along. I'm preparing right now too. I'm really excited. I have the honor to teach another class for Synchronicity University, and I will add the link to that if people want to sign up for the choose your own tuition rate. It's as low as $5 a class if you sign up before the end of April. So I'll put a link for that at the end. I'm going to be talking about some of our beautiful cosmic points that we discuss on here in more detail. So we're going to be talking about the galactic center, the supergalactic center, the great attractor, the Shapley attractor. And I'm really looking forward to it. So like I said, I'll put a link to that at the end of this. I've been actually studying and taking a class in galactic astrology as well. And I'm really excited about everything that I'm learning there and how I'm going to be able to even greater serve this community as I continue to learn stuff. So the chart that I did for the full moon with more of these fixed stars and galactic points included is absolutely nutty, like this full moon. But it's really funny because what I noticed, and the full moon's on the 27th, or not the full moon, Jesus, the new moon. It feels like a full moon though, because it's that intense. All right, the new moon in Taurus at 7, we're going to round it up to 8 degrees of Taurus. I mean, this is just going to be absolutely massive. And it's funny how like you get the basic astrology of it, and then as you delve more deeply into it with some of these more cosmic or galactic points, these deep space objects, fixed stars, these different things like that, you start to realize that it's just deepening the energy, but it's the signature of the energy is the same. So it's really wild how that works when you start sort of delving into it. But we've got the Shapley attractor activated with this. We've got some powerful fixed stars. We've got the supergalactic center activated. We've got a beautiful sextile to Sirius B, bringing in some of that beautiful high vibrational energy. So it's a really wild new moon. We've been building up to this. We're having the third, and this week actually, as we're going to talk about the astrology of the rest of April in this video today, as well as channel some guidance from Spirit of how we navigate these energies. We're seeing the aspects of the full moon already coming into play as we're seeing Mars moving back into opposition with Pluto. This is the third Mars-Pluto opposition. The first of these oppositions occurred when Mars was going direct right around election day in the United States. We had Mars so it was the very first week of November. We had Mars at 29 degrees of Cancer and Pluto at 29 degrees of Capricorn. We had that initial opposition. Mars went retrograde. And then we had on the 2nd of January, their second opposition with Mars retrograde in the sign of Leo at 1 degree of Leo and Pluto at 1 degree of Aquarius. And then we have that third opposition. It's going to be exact on the 26th, the day before the new moon, but it'll still be, I mean, they're right there. 3 degrees of Leo for Mars, 3 degrees of Aquarius for Pluto. So we talked about that journey of the higher will versus the ego will. And this energy you just see reflected over and over again throughout the chart. So I'm really excited to delve. I am going to do a separate video on that new moon, but it's really bringing this story. So think about those dates. Think about around the third or that first week of November, the first week of January, and compare that to what's going on in your life now. Where are there different power struggles, either with you, and if there are power struggles with you and in the external, how is that reflecting a power struggle within? And where is that struggle with humility, that struggle with your own ego? Because that's really what this is about, like we said, right? The lower will being exemplified here by Mars, and the higher will being exemplified by Pluto. And Mars has gone through an initiation and activation and awakening through his retrograde. So he has a brand new perspective as he's coming back to meet Pluto once more. And I do believe, I didn't go back and do all the charts, but I feel like there was at least a T-square type of action going on back then too. I don't remember exactly, but we've definitely got that going on now with the sun, and the moon is going to join. I mean, we got Black Moon Lilith coming into position for a grand cross action during that new moon, and Lilith conjunct the Shapley attractor. So, yeah, it's insane. Something that I thought was really cool about that new moon as well is that we have Pluto conjunct the fixed star Altair. And Altair represents ego versus humility and the mastery of the ego through the energy of the spirit. So how wild is that when we've been talking about this lower will versus the higher will, right? Like it blows my mind when you see these, when you see the way everything lines up, right? And the energies deepen and deepen. So that's going to be super, super intense. And there is going to continue. Yeah, right, Miranda? It does. It's so powerful. We're going to continue to see that relationship theme as well as those themes of justice and integrity, those Libran themes of justice and integrity, because we do have the supergalactic center very activated. And this is during the new moon, but these points are all lining up now, right? It doesn't just happen. The planets have to come into these alignments. And so we're feeling all of this right now, the supergalactic center, in an opposition to Saturn, Venus, the North Node, and Neptune to varying degrees, most closely to Neptune, because the supergalactic center is at 2 degrees of Libra, and Neptune is currently at 0 degrees of Aries, right? So that's the most intense. But then Saturn, Venus, and the North Node, they're still canoodling in the sign of Pisces, right? We've had that going on for quite some time. They're being really activated once more. We're really feeling this, especially as we have, when they're hitting that 26-degree point, the North Node particularly here. And let me check my note. I am checking my notes, you guys, because I just went over so much information for this live stream here. Venus. Yes, Venus and the North Node, as they come into conjunction, I believe it's on the 24th at 26 degrees. And Saturn. All right. Saturn, the North Node, and Venus here, they're going to be connecting with Uranus, who has returned to 26 degrees of Taurus. And we were talking about how important this is, as 26 degrees of Taurus is also the location of the star Algol, the demon star, or the Lilith star. So isn't this interesting when we were just talking about Black Moon Lilith conjunct the Shapley attractor, which is a point that is also about integrity, but it's very much about power, the ways that we wield our power and the great influences of power. So it's like what's going on beneath the scenes, what is running everything beneath the scenes. So there's a lot of this Plutonic energy going on here. As we're moving through here, Uranus conjunct the Lilith star as well. And we had talked about the last time that Uranus was conjunct the Lilith star, it actually occurred with Mars. And that was in, I believe it was July of last year. We talked about this, and we had referenced in other videos how that was the first most major publicized, we'll say, because there have been many attempts of assassination of President Trump. And how Algol represents, it literally represents losing one's head. And so the intensity of that Mars and Algol, or Uranus and Mars on top of Algol, the demon star, right? The Lilith star, the intensity of that energy. And now Uranus is returning to that point in the sky. So, I'm not the only one who picked up on this. I saw a video by Pam Gregory, and she was talking about this as well. She had the same inkling that I have had, that I shared with you guys like a month ago, I think, or a few weeks ago, about how if there was another assassination attempt or something going on with Trump's life, this is prime time for that to happen. Uranus is already lined up there, will be there until the 11th of May, and will be connecting with in a sextile to the North Node. And also right now we have Venus and Saturn right there. So it's an intense aspect. There's also that throwback just in our individual lives to that energy of July. And what's really interesting about Algol is we call it the demon star, the star of losing one's head. And it is one of the most malevolent stars in the heavens. That's how they look at it. It represents literal death by decapitation and these different types of things. But it also is this energy of like temperament, anger, that warlike energy within each and every single one of us, those truly dark and primal impulses and energies that every single person contains. And there's this energy of when we master our demons, when we integrate our demons, the level of power that we're able to generate. And also this energy and this understanding of our greatest capacity for light is directly equal to our greatest capacity for darkness. So there's a real energy there with Algol where it introduces us to our greatest darkness or our greatest light. And in a lot of ways, that to me feels similar to some of the energies of the Shapley attractor. So it's just interesting that we have all of these points activated during this new moon in Taurus and sort of moving forward from here as well. Let's see what else we have that we want to talk about. Like I said, I'm going to do a whole video on the new moon so that everyone can get an even deeper sort of feel for those energies. And I just want to take a minute also to welcome everybody. I know I've been like on my little rampage here, so I haven't had a chance to say hello to anyone. Hello, Gerline. Hello, McKenna. Or Michael. You haven't been in that name for a while. It always threw me off. I thought you were a different person. Hello. I was like, I haven't seen you in a while. Hello, Saheen. Let's see. Hayaz. Sounds like that might have been an opportunity to try to sell somebody on something, but I'm not 100% sure. Hello, Mario, welcome. And yes, Miranda D. So happy to see you all. Oh, yeah, starting to heal. I hope so. Let's send D some extra healing vibes, some extra support there in that healing process. See, Caitlin, hello. Plune, nice to see you as well. Yeah, we got a full house right now. All right, so let's see what else. As we move toward the new moon, we're also going to have Mercury moving into a trine with the Great Attractor. The Great Attractor at, of course, 14 degrees of Sagittarius. So this is going to be really, it's a magnification when we're working with those energies of the Great Attractor here, right? So a magnification of the mental energies, a real expanding of our mental capacities, a really great and amplified ability to attract and draw to us What is aligned with our vibration? What is aligned with our thoughts, our words, our efforts, particularly if we're needing support and we're needing community. So that's a really beautiful aspect that we have as we're continuing to move through the next couple weeks and move toward and through that new moon. And of course, after the new moon, it's going to get even, that aspect is going to get even tighter. Now that we have Mercury also moving direct once more. Hello, Jesse. Yes, yeah. Hello, Mystic Ray. Oh, no kidding. I love it. Thank you. I love hearing when people have dreams about me. I really do. It's I feel like my astral self really kind of gets around, so to speak, and hangs out with a lot of different people. There's a lot of fun stuff that my astral self does. So I love hearing about that. Like we really you guys think some of you, probably actually not many of you, might think that we don't really connect much outside of here, but we're always connected all the time. My ears are ringing like crazy right now. So I'm happy to hear about that. Yeah. You train yourself, girlie. You got to train yourself just like anything. Were you present in was it the last live stream where we were talking about the pathways in the brain? I would invite you to rewatch that. I would also invite you to start listening to Joe Dispenza. He teaches a lot about reprogramming the circuitry of the brain. It's practice. All right. The old ways of thinking, those are like the old paths that are carved into your brain. In order to carve a new path, every time you find yourself thinking a fearful thought, stop yourself, think something different. It's going to take a while. You're going to have to be on top of it. Just keep working at it. Make a list of 5 things that make you feel hopeful, that make you feel good, that make you feel empowered, that bring you joy. And think of one of those things as you start thinking your new thoughts. That helps because the emotion combined with the thought is what creates the new pathway in the brain. All right. So ideally, you want to be able to tap into a positive emotion as well as that positive thought. All right. And it's just like anything, it's just like going to the gym. You go to the gym for 20 minutes one day, nothing's going to happen. You go to the gym for an hour, 3 or 4 days a week, something's going to happen. In this case, when we're retraining the brain, it's literally all day, every day that we're working on this. All right. But eventually we create those new pathways, right? We walk those paths enough, meaning we think those thoughts enough that they blaze that new trail. And then we start automatically thinking with hope and faith instead of automatically thinking with fear. All right. Hello, Stony. I do read tarot. Yes, I haven't pulled any cards yet, but I will be. Hello, Connor. Welcome. Your ear started ringing 2D. Welcome. We're glad you're with us. We're glad you're here. Let's see. That's because you're thinking about what you fear too much, girling. We attract what is our vibration and what we think about. So if you're thinking about things that you're afraid of, if you're thinking about the things that you don't want, the universe doesn't understand that you don't want that because that's what you're thinking about. That's what you're creating. That's what you're given more of. And when you think about it, you become the vibration of it as well, right? So it's shifting our vibration and shifting our thoughts. What you focus on, you bring into your reality. Like we said, it's just the mental retraining the brain, retraining the mind. Hello, Jennifer. We're talking about the astrology of the next couple weeks. We just started delving into some of the lineups that are occurring as we move toward the new moon in Taurus, which is going to be absolutely wild. And I'm just taking a few questions sort of in between. Connor, I said something positive, honey. We're glad that you're here. We love you. All right? Yeah. Yeah. We love you. We appreciate you. You are seen, you are heard, you are valued. I invite you to say something positive to you. What can you say? What positive and self-affirming things can you say to yourself? Michael said, stop listening to the mainstream media. That's another surefire way to decrease your stress, fear, and anxiety. Hello, Mehran. MSM is mainstream media, D. Hello, John. Hello, Arculus. Yeah, of course, Girling. Of course, overthinking negative things seems easier to do. That's how you've trained your brain. Those are the paths that you've created within your mind. Eventually, if you put the effort in, you'll create those new pathways. Guaranteed. I'll tell you, I used to be the most negative person that ever existed. And I can fall into that funk sometimes. One of the funniest things, so I have this tattoo on my arm. It says Vini Vidi Vici, which is actually pronounced Weedy Weedy Vici, which I don't know. The V sounds better. I like it better with the V sound, so I still mispronounce it on purpose. I came, I saw, I conquered, right? And my an ex of mine used to joke around that it should have said, I came, I saw, I complained, because I used to be the biggest. Like, my sister and I are great. If there were an Olympics for complaining, like, I swear to God, we would be gold ribbon champions. It's just that's my natural energy, is to complain, is to be irritated, is to be frustrated, negative. That is the default setting. And that's where I constantly will default to if I don't stay on top of it. You know, it's taken a lot of concentrated effort for me to be somebody who sees the silver lining, who practices gratitude. And it is a practice. It's something that I still have to do every single day. You know, it is what it is. It works though. If you work at it, it does work. It absolutely does. Just like building those muscles. But just like building those muscles, you stop going to the gym, you stop using those muscles, they will start to dwindle again, right? Yeah. I've gotten that before, unforeseen. Yeah. Yeah, sometimes we get too focused on the healing and we don't give ourselves grace and we don't give ourselves integration time. You may be needing some integration time. So maybe lighten it up for a little bit. Sometimes we need to lighten up and just allow all the deep work that we've done to integrate. Otherwise, we burn ourselves out. Yeah, absolutely. Jennifer puts up the great point of, we talk about it all the time, right? What you're consuming. What we consume isn't just food, it's energy, it's what we read, it's what we listen to, it's what we share, it's what we all these things, what we engage with. It's all consumption. You know, so we want to be aware of this on social media, whatever it is that that's why you want to choose wisely what you're consuming, right? Like, I have now a pile of books that if I have any idle time, there's like 10 different books that I can pick up that are inspiring, that are empowering, that are insightful, that are teaching me something valuable. You know what I mean? Like, and I'm retraining myself to have that be my go-to, instead of like a game on my phone or something that helps me zone out, right? Because somehow I got retrained to do that. When I was younger, I read books all the time, right? And so it's like sometimes we have to retrain ourselves because we forget things. The world trains us in a different way, right? We get to a point where we're just looking for the easy zone out. You know, I think that's how I ended up with like the phone games and the Netflix and stuff like that. It just was easier. It required less effort. You know what I mean? Reading really doesn't require much effort, and it feels so much better. You feel so much better when you do it. You know what I mean? Just like anything else. So I invite everyone who's on here right now, everyone who's watching this replay, everyone who finds this video, to commit to 3 positive activities that you want to introduce or reintroduce into your life. 3 positive activities or habits. And if you feel guided to share what those are in the chat, then definitely share what those are. What it is that you're committing to. And while we're thinking about that, and so mine are meditation, reading, and what's the third one? I'll have to think about this for a second. Meditation and reading are my big 2. Oh, and exercise. Those are the three big things that I'm doing right now. And self-care is really being shown as a really important thing right now. So that is why sometimes, for instance, we're doing the next couple weeks of astrology, because I may not have time to do the separate video. It's something that I wanted to do for you guys. But it just may or may not happen right now, because I am prioritizing my own self-care above everything right now, which is hard for me because there's so much that I want to give. There's so much that I want to share, and there's so much that I want to accomplish, right? But sometimes, like, the greatest accomplishment is just taking care of ourselves. You know, it's so incredibly important. So if anything, hopefully I can be an example of that to people. Prioritize yourself, prioritize your well-being. You know, as we're moving through 2025 to 2027, this is where we remember with that new moon in Aries. So that was the last new moon that we had. We catalyze this process of these mutations within our DNA, which are preparing us for the massive transmutation of our DNA that is occurring in 2027. All right, so we're going through major cellular changes in the next 2 years. It's going to be so important to take care of our bodies, right? And that's going to mean different things for different people. Okay, there's a lot of people who want to tell you how to eat for Ascension, what you should and shouldn't eat, what's high vibe and low vibe for you to eat, right? Your body knows best. Trust your body. Okay, that's all I got to say. That's what I'm having to do. I'm working on a metabolic reset right now. In order to do that, it requires certain types of diets that help facilitate that process, that help facilitate the combination of protein, fat, and carbohydrates that is necessary for a metabolic reset, for the types of healing that I'm doing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm working with my specific body, what is helping me, what I need. And I encourage everybody to do that. And if you don't know what that is, get yourself a team if you have the ability to do so. And if you feel like you don't have the ability to do so, set that intention to the universe. All right. I've got an herbalist. I'm following all these different dietitians and metabolic experts now. I've got a trainer that is working with me. Exercise wise at my gym. All right. I got a team going on because I need a team. We all need a team. So really, just trust what your body is needing. Trust where you're being guided, how you're being guided. I'm being guided really strongly toward intermittent fasting as well. There's just, your body knows. Your body knows. Yeah. And we're moving into the age of Aquarius, right? That's all about the energy of the team. Oh, thank you, Gerline. So do you. This is a fantastic team on here. And if anybody wants to go deeper with this and get more connected within that team energy, please join the Patreon. Join us. We do bi-weekly, so twice a month, live calls in a beautiful container. I'm going to start offering as well just the meditation portion of our calls for purchase as well, if people just want the meditations, because we do some really beautiful meditations. So go ahead and follow the Patreon if you don't, even if you're not ready to join. And there will be the opportunity to, if you just want to snag some of those meditations, because we do some really beautiful group meditations together as well. But it's a great way to get some extra support and like an extra tight community energy there. But yeah, where are we going with all this now? It technically, yes, it's a scarab beetle. This is my tattoo for Isis. I haven't filled in the moon yet. That's going to be a moon or a flower of life. I haven't fully decided yet. I'm moving more toward the moon though, because the divine feminine energy. Oh, thank you, Annika, through the link for the Patreon there in the comments. Okay. All right, there we go. What is this? Peanut butter banana cookie recipe in the chat. Well, that sounds yummy. I mean, peanut butter and bananas are good for you. Particularly bananas are so good for you. Yeah. Yeah. All right. We're getting back to this astrology here. If you guys want to hear some about the new moon in Taurus that we have upcoming, go ahead and rewatch the beginning of this video after the stream is over, or I think you can rewind it right now while the stream's going and you can watch the beginning of that video. We talked quite a bit about the new moon in Taurus as we are aligning with our higher selves will, that surrendering the ego will. There's this powerful process of pushing us forward along our divine path. And something that I didn't mention, as we have all this energy with the supergalactic center activated, something that I've really been feeling about the supergalactic center is this particular energy here of not just looking at relationships in particular, but anything that anywhere where we give our power away to something outside of ourselves that we think will make us feel more whole, that we think will make us feel more complete. And we've talked about this as one of the initiations of the light worker's journey. As we move into this place where we begin to recognize, and this is where many of us in this collective are at right now, we begin to recognize all the places where we give our power away to something else. And we begin taking that power back. All right. Also going on this week as we move toward that new moon, as we have Mars and Pluto moving back into opposition with each other. We got that squaring action, the sun moving into that squaring action there. We also have, of course, the sun just entered Taurus, as we know as well. See Venus very active here. In addition, and when we're talking about Venus, we're loosely talking about the North Node as well as Saturn, and even very loosely Neptune, because they're still all connected. And we still have Venus, Saturn, and the North Node within a few degrees of each other. So there's going to be that's the sextile. Yeah, never mind. I have a list just to give me sort of the bullet points as we're going through so I don't forget anything as we're going through the astrology for the upcoming weeks. But we were just talking extensively about that. I didn't finish reading far enough. It's talking about the sextile with Uranus and Taurus. We talked about that already. That's the one with Uranus conjunct the star Algol. And so that energy of really calling us, like as a collective and as individuals, we're really being called deeper into our darkness to integrate that in and really expand our capacity to hold light. So there's an intense indoctrination period, I guess you could say, or initiation period here, deeper into our individual and collective darkness. And out of that rises an even more powerful, potent, and vibrant light. Frank. So Frank wants to know some of the books that got me interested in astrology. I don't know that there were any books that got me interested in astrology, but when I first started studying astrology, Stephen Forrest's The Inner Sky is a great book that I highly recommend. I'll show you. I have a copy of it right here. This is a great astrology book, like beginner's astrology book. I really enjoy the way that he talks about the planets and the houses and everything like that. He wrote a lot of great books. I have another book of his on Neptune. And let's see here. And there's some great books on Pluto too. Like this is a great book on Pluto by Jeff Green, The Evolutionary Journey of the Soul. I'm a big fan of Pluto, in case people didn't know. So that's definitely one that I would recommend. I would recommend starting with The Inner Sky. It's a really great introductory. And then there's also, I'm trying to find, I have, so if you look, Frank, if you look on my, in the description box of my videos, I actually have it's a Bendable profile, and I have links to a bunch of astrology books on there. So you can find that. You can find a couple other astrology books that I recommend if you want to sort of delve into those. I totally forgot about that. I don't think the Pluto book's on there yet, though. I need to add that one. Can't believe what they've done to it. Oh, you mean the demoting of it as not a planet? Is that what we're talking about? That's only astronomers. Astrologers, no different. All right. Anyone who's ever worked with the power of Pluto knows and understands that if if ever there were a planet, Pluto be it. All right. And we also know, I mean, some of these asteroids, these dwarf planets, carry incredible energy. I mean, it's the same way to think about if you think about crystals. You could have a crystal this size versus a crystal this size or 10 times bigger. This little guy might generate way more power. All right. It's not about the size. I almost said it's not. What's that old quote about? Like, it's not about the size of the fight, the dog and the fight. It's the size of the fight and the dog. But that kind of like works here. But you know what I mean. But yeah, we know. We know all about Pluto. And some of these asteroids and dwarf planets that we're finding are so intensely powerful. And there's so many being discovered every day. It's absolutely wild. I mean, even if you think about Chiron, you know, Chiron is classified. Now classified as a dwarf planet, I think. But I believe it was classified as an asteroid. And I mean, that is, think about the power in that guy. So yeah, size is not necessarily delineate anything here. It's just, I think they got overwhelmed because once they started discovering all the trans-Neptunian objects, which is everything outside of Neptune, there's so many, and they're all sized like Pluto, right? And we're getting to know many of these, and like we said, finding that they have extreme power. But I think astronomers just got overwhelmed, and they're like, well, if Pluto's a planet, then all of these are planets now, which means that the number of planets in our galaxy is just like beyond our comprehension. And we can't do it. So they just shut it down. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, blah, 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 indeed. So yeah, we got that going on. We talked about Mercury here. So earlier in the month, we talked about later in the month and then moving into May, how Mercury is moving into a sextile with the great attractor. But we have Mercury here on the 20th of April. So I think that's today. Is that today, you guys? You know how I know today's the 18th. When I put the date for the live stream, somebody corrected me because I put Friday the 17th. I don't know what's going on here. So a couple days from now, on the 20th here, we have Mercury coming into sextile with Pluto as well. So Pluto, and then as we move at the end of the month, the great attractor, you can see Mercury just having these really powerful surges, as Pluto is, of course, a planet that represents power. And the great attractor is that point in space, that great cosmic point that is amplifying energies, that is drawing in as magnetizing energy to us, right? When we're connected with it. And so there's a lot of this supercharging of our mental energy as we're moving through this month. So this is why everything that we talked about, there's no accidents, right? People were asking questions about mastering your mental energies. There's a reason that we went down that road, so to speak. It's because that's going to be so important as we have Mercury really in his element, in his power, getting supercharged or turbocharged, if you will, as he connects with these points in space through these powerful supportive sextiles. A sextile is a mercurial type energy as well. It has a lot of excitement to it, has a lot of mental stimulation. It's a very stimulating energy. So we can expect our thoughts to be very stimulated as well, our minds to be very stimulated. As we're moving through the rest of this month and into the beginning of May, we want to make sure that we are breathing. We want to make sure that we're taking care of our nervous system, that we're taking that time out to meditate or even just quietly contemplate and diffuse some of that mental energy. All right, because there's going to be a lot of it. It's going to be excessive. And so the more we can discharge that energy, the better, and use it wisely, right? So be very intentional with your words, with the things that you think about. Do a lot of daydreaming. right? Do a lot of fake conversations with your future self, with your future agent, your future publicist, your future, assistants, your future whatever, business partners, your future love interests, right? Whatever it is, whatever you're calling in, this energy of like role playing and different things like this is great and really fun way to manifest and create. Make sure you are using empowered language, and if you're not, don't beat yourself up over it. Just switch it up as soon as you recognize it. All right, let's see here. What else do we have going on? Let's see. Yes, we talked about Sun and Mars coming into their square, right? Just as Mars and Pluto were coming into their opposition, preparing us for that new moon energy. Yep, that's going to be building obviously more as we continue to move toward the 27th. Let's see. And then on the 30th, a few days after the new moon, we have Venus re-entering Aries. So that's going to be beautiful. That's going to bring a whole new sort of lift in energy and vibration, I think. That's going to give us more of that fire back. It's like we're getting our fire back in stages here. Solfeggio music helps you with resetting your default settings and diffuses negative thoughts. I love that, Mystic Ray. That's a really great recommendation. All right, let's see here. We're going to grab some tarot. We're going to grab some astrology cards. Clear. Hello, Herman. Hello, Linda. Right? 3D life indeed. Let's get some more energy here. Spirit, what do you want us to know? What other guidance do you have for us as we navigate these energies of the remainder of April here? What else do you want us to know? My Lemurian quartz drew my attention. So working with your crystals as well. Whichever ones are calling to you. This is also that reminder of all the Lemurian memories that are activating right now within us. Oh, and it's interesting too, because we talked a little bit about how the new moon, the sun and the moon, are going to be in a sextile, I believe it was, to Sirius B. And Sirius B is described as like a watery planet. It's described as its own energy, independent from Sirius A, which is what we typically think of as like the primary Sirius star. And so Sirius B is described as that watery dolphins, mermaids, all of these types of energies. And there's something about that really connects with Lemuria to me. You know, Lemuria, there were a lot of mermaids. There was that deep connection to the waters and the ocean. And so I'm feeling that really assisting as well. Something about that connection, assisting with, like we said, the opening up of these codes, light codes, these secrets, like we said, right? This information, this wisdom that was encoded into our DNA, and sort of the retrieving of that Lemurian energy and those Lemurian memories by the collective. So that is really beautiful, I think. Right, we got the Queen of Wands. That is that charismatic energy there. This is the energy that we are being guided to step into, to embody. This is the energy, this particular Queen of Wands, look at her. She's surrounded by sunflowers. This is new beginnings. All right, she's got her familiar. She's got her little kitty on the bottom here. I love that in this particular deck. You know what I mean? But like she is, and she's carrying a big old wand. Look at that stick. You know what I mean? So there's this energy of really stepping into whatever's coming next, into this next chapter with that courage, with that confidence. That's that Aries energy, right? Wands represents the fire signs, Leo, Sag, Aries. But we got a lot of that Aries energy going on right now. So there is that beautiful energy there that we're being guided to embody. This is the chapter where we are being invited to become our most magnetic selves, to become our most fabulous selves. What timed out? Walk softly, carry a big stick, D says. Exactly. We got the 9 of Wands here. Oh, is something hiding underneath? What's hiding underneath? Oh, the 8 of Cups in reverse. So what Spirit's saying is that this next week or so, however long we have the rest of April, there's going to be this energy of anywhere where we're holding on to something, we're guarding something. Something that we don't want to let go of. Something that we don't want to release. That's going to become more apparent. It's going to become more clear. If there's been, so this is for those of us, and let's see, I just cut the deck to the Wheel of Fortune and the Ace of Pentacles here. All right. For some of us, there might have been this point where it's like something has been holding us back, but we haven't recognized what it is. It hasn't been fully clear. And that something is always us, right? But like what aspect of us? Why? Whatever it is that we're guarding here is going to become more apparent, as well as why it is that we're guarding that. Why it is that we're protecting that, whatever it is, whether it's a wound, whether it's a specific person or a job or something that we're hanging on to, that we're defending, when we should be walking away, when we should be letting go. And I mean, I know I just did the should thing, right? The should is one of those words that ideally can be removed from our vocabulary. You know what I mean? However, in this case, it feels applicable. We got the 4 of Swords here, rest, healing, rejuvenation. Spirit saying this is a period where some people may be forced to rest, forced to heal. But look, there's an energy of peace on his face. Spirit saying, allow this to bring you peace. If you're being taken out of commission in some sense, if something is being stalled, if something is being slowed down, let it. Let it. Allow yourself to enjoy the calm. Allow yourself to enjoy the quiet. And for those of you who, like, it's just, everything feels like it's moving at a mile a minute. Like I said at the beginning of this live stream before everyone jumped on, like I literally felt like my life was a bus that was just driving 100 miles an hour. And I feel like I've just been chasing behind it. Like, you know, if you are also feeling that energy, then you may have to be the one to call this into your life, to make the space for this, to decide to rest. You know, that's what I did. That's what I did Wednesday. I was so exhausted. I was like, it's not going to serve me or anyone to hop on that live stream. You know, take the space that you need. Take the time that you need. And if Spirit is taking that time for you, then simply allow that. Trust in that timing. Got the Queen of Swords here, right? Be cutthroat if you need to be. This is also interesting because if you look at her, would you just look at her? She, sorry. Oh, memories. She looks contemplative, doesn't she? Like she's listening to something though. Like she's hearing something that maybe other people can't hear. It's like she's waiting. You can see she's playing with her sword, but she's not cutting away at anything just yet. She's waiting. She's listening. She's using her intuition, and she's waiting for the right time to strike. That's going to be relevant for some of us right now. D says, I feel like I'm strapped to the hood of that bus going 100 miles an hour. Seriously. Glad we're on the same page with that one. Yeah, she's waiting for the right time. She's not being reactive, right? We talked about how Mars has been learning this. through the portion of his retrograde in Cancer. This energy of being non-reactive. There's something very specific that she's waiting for. You even got the birds overhead, which also represent intuition, spiritual messengers, freedom, I'm feeling too. So this is, don't allow yourself to be rushed. Oh yeah, some people expect, right? They're looking for that reaction, and when they don't get it, it really irks them. You know what I mean? For some reason, I don't know why I'm sharing this. I think maybe somebody will relate to it. So when I was younger, I used to get bullied a lot. There was one person, one other little girl in particular, who used to bully me, and she would antagonize me and call me names and like take my stuff and throw it on the ground and do all this stuff to try to get at me. And I would completely ignore her and look through her like she wasn't there. That was my way of dealing with her. And like, I knew that it was making her so angry, and she would get more and more extreme and more irate because I wasn't acknowledging anything that she was doing. I was just pretending like she wasn't there. So there's something with that. Like, if you really want to get at someone, ignore their antics completely. You know, I don't know why that memory just came through, but yeah, it used to, oh my God, it drove her nuts when I did that. Haven't had a reading, Colin? What do you mean by a reading? You mean like a tarot reading, astrology reading? If you are looking for one, you can absolutely book with me. All my information is in the description box below. And welcome, by the way. All right. We're doing a collective reading right now. So we're tapping into this energy of not being reactive. So for some people, it could be that. And we got to remember too, when we're talking about this build up to this new moon, we're talking about this opposition of Mars and Pluto. We're talking about the sun here with the moon. We're talking about Black Moon Lilith as well, right? This grand cross action that we have going on here. This is 4 squares and 2 oppositions. There's that grander energy of the harmonizing the lower will, the ego will with the higher will. But there's going to be a lot of lower vibrational ways that this energy plays out. There's going to be a lot of ways that are much more externalized, particularly when we also have Uranus returning to that conjunction with the star Algol at 26 degrees of Taurus, losing one's head. You know what I mean? Like, there's going to be a lot of people who are very reactive. Hi, John. I see you too. Welcome, brother. All right. There's going to be a lot of people who are very reactive right now. So when we are able to not react, like, there's going to be, for some people, there are going to be people in this low vibrational state who are trying to cause drama, who are seeking to get a reaction, right? Who are externalizing their own woundedness that's coming up instead of doing the healing and taking that as an opportunity for healing. Remember, we also have Chiron conjunct Eris, right? The feminine warrior planet. We'll call her a planet, right? We had this conversation earlier about the dwarf planets and all of this. So that Eris, that's that energy of revenge. It's similar to Black Moon Lilith. Some consider her a higher octave of Black Moon Lilith. I consider her like the feminine counterpart to Mars as well. When I feel her energy, there's a deep intensity. There is a real demand. And we're going to be feeling this with Black Moon Lilith active as well, especially conjunct that Shapley attractor as part of that grand cross that we have building here between the sun and then the moon when she joins Mars, Pluto, Black Moon Lilith here, all right? This is that intensity of that energy of that reactivity, that not allowing for injustice, not standing for injustice. Eris conjunct Chiron is going to bring up those wounds of when we were unfairly treated, of when our side wasn't heard, of where we weren't included, where we weren't appreciated. All right. There's just a lot of intensity, a lot of this energy of where we've been scorned, where we've been done wrong. There's a lot of truth probably being revealed as well with all of this energy with Pluto and the Shapley active and all of this. So more and more truth coming out, more and more truth being revealed, and a lot of people who are on edge receiving that truth, receiving those events, whatever's going on. All right. So we really want to do what we can to hold our own individual center. And what I mean by this, what Spirit means by this, and this is the Queen of Swords right here. Don't get dragged into anybody else's drama. All right. We're going to have our own personal mini dramas unfolding. All right. We don't need to be dragged into the collective drama. We've got enough of our own. If we heal, if we allow for this process of catharsis, if we allow for this process of the revelations of what within us is ready to be healed, of our own internal power dynamics with the way that we interact with the universe, right? And really step into our own sovereignty here, allow our own healing process to occur. It's going to be, that is going to benefit the collective in a beautiful way. That's all we really need to do for the collective right now, is to focus on our own healing and stay in our own lane. And if somebody else is trying to drag you into a different lane where you know you don't belong, just say no, thank you. Stay right where you are, even if it pisses them off, even if they throw your glasses on the ground. That was the end of that story that I didn't mention, was when I was ignoring this girl who was bullying me. She got so mad because I used to wear glasses. I actually have contacts now, but she ripped my glasses off my face and threw them on the ground because she was so furious that I wasn't showing her that I was upset or hurt by the way that she was treating me. And so it's like that. Like, even if they throw your glasses on the ground, don't give them the satisfaction. Don't get drawn into their drama. Hold your own center. All right. And if you do, though, that's okay. Observe why. What was the trigger there? What triggered me? What wound did that expose? What's ready to heal here? All right. Anything else before we're gonna pull a few Black Moon astrology cards here too. Ten of Swords and the Six of Wands. This is the end of difficulty and the beginning of triumph. And Spirit's saying, even some of what you are perceiving, the pain that you may be going through, all right, this is what Spirit's saying. There's a major purge. We're forgetting that we're still purging. Massively purging right now. All right? We're purging all of this energy, all of this pain, all of this betrayal energy for many of us. Whatever this is. But the reason we're doing that is to make way for the success, for the triumph, for the victory that is coming. We're actually already victorious. You are already victorious. All right? It's already been written. It's already been done. We're just living it out. Your pain, as you are purging and releasing all this density, all this pain, that's actually a sign of your victory. It's not a sign of defeat. It's a sign of triumph. You're letting all that go so that you can rise into this energy. You're already here. You just can't see that you're here because it maybe doesn't feel good yet, but it will. It'll feel good, and then it'll feel bad, and then it'll feel good again, right? Because energy is always flowing, right? This is that energy of victory, of triumph, of recognition, of being seen and recognized. And Spirit wants to bring this through right now for anybody who's been struggling, anybody who's feeling like they're putting so much good into the world, they're trying so hard, and it feels like there's no reciprocity for that. It feels like there's no recognition for that. It feels like they're not seen, they're not heard. Like Spirit saying, you are seen, you are heard. way more than you know. The impact of all that you've done, all the healing you've done, all the love you send into the world, that energy is recognized. Right. Let's get a couple Black Moon astrology cards here. Hello, Azula. Hello, Leanna. Welcome, welcome. Hello, Ty, popping in here. Oh, that's okay. This is a safe space to do that if you need to vent. I went through a period of self-harm when I was younger too. You know, I can only imagine, my son's very young now. I can only imagine what it is like to witness your child going through that. No. All you can do is love them and let them know that you're there for them, right? Be that safe space. And when you need a safe space to come here and let this be your safe space. Let's all just send a wave of love right now. Right. You are so supported. Clear. All right. I thank you for letting me know, Dee. I always think it's interesting to see like where it is, like what I'm saying when the sound starts crapping out, because it always happens at some point. And my connection's really good right now, so it shouldn't be wavering. Yeah, you're not alone. I know it feels like you are sometimes. I know it really, really does, but you're not alone. Miranda, if you join the Patreon, you can absolutely do that. And I think you're the membership, right? You have the membership on the channel here. I think you have the Cosmic Rebel 888 membership. So what I'm gonna do actually is, because that, to connect that, since you have the 888 membership, I'll add you to some of the Patreon stuff so that you can connect with us there, Miranda. And anyone else who wants to connect, join the Patreon or join the channel membership if you want. I was being given guidance to link those and connect those, the certain levels of those. So we're going to do that too. So whichever way you choose to join, whether it's through the channel membership on here, either the 888 or whatever the one before the 888 is. I know there's 3 levels. Any of the second 2 tiers of that, or the Patreon, we can we'll connect those so that you can enjoy that support as well. Yeah. And anybody else who's thinking of joining, it's very reasonable. They're not like super expensive. So if anyone's wanting to, and you're feeling as though that's a barrier. We have the Grand Trine coming out. Blessings. Speaking of abundance, speaking of increase, speaking of all the good things. This is flow though. This is what I'm feeling from this. This is a blessing of flow. This is the energy that we are moving into. This is the energy that we're being called to embrace even right now. Is this energy of flow. And so like what Spirit's saying is, if life is just crazy, right? We use the analogy of the bus, right? It's just like, just go with it. You know what I mean? It's honestly like flow. If we're looking at the analogy of life as a bus that's just careening crazily across the street, and we're running to catch up, maybe we just sit down and take a breather, right? Wait for the next bus to come along, because that's the thing about buses. There's always another one right behind it. Maybe we're chasing the wrong bus. You know what I mean? Just relax into the flow. Even if it's crazy, even if it's frustrating because we feel like we're not getting as much done. That's how I felt on Wednesday. There was that part of me that wanted to be like, oh my God, everyone's going to be so disappointed. Like I just can't get my shit together. You know what I mean? Like they're expecting these live streams on Wednesdays and we had to reschedule last week and now we have to reschedule again. Like, I could have been so hard on myself and so frustrated and all the other stuff. I had planned to get other stuff done that day too. We still did the Patreon call. And that was beautiful, but that was all I had in me that day, and that was okay. I didn't beat myself up about it. That was being in the flow, just being like, you know what, like rest is on the menu for me today. All right. Rest is on the menu and that's okay. So this is practicing flow, practicing embracing this concept of flow, which is divine feminine energy, right? Even when life seems chaotic. And as we practice stepping into the flow more, we're going to notice that we call in more of this energy. The trine energy is the energy where everything just flows smoothly, where it's symbiotic, right? Where things just come together. So that's the energy that we're calling in. That's the energy that we're moving toward. But at the same time, like we can start that right now. We can initiate that and call in that energy by practicing it right now. Remember how we talked about how everything was practice? And we have, yes, destiny, the yod coming out. So there's this energy here of blessings coming in that are destined and fated. And this is also the yod can be, we talked about the yod, right? The finger of God. In the last live stream, because we had the yod going on during the full moon in Libra with the moon there. And then it was Uranus and was it Venus and Saturn? Venus and Saturn, Uranus, the moon. It's intense, right? So it's an initiation. So Spirit's saying also there are hidden blessings right now within the struggles that you are facing. Particularly if there's like a massive struggle, some sort of massive challenge in your life right now, Spirit's saying that is a hidden blessing. That is the achievement of what you are meant to achieve in that situation. The solution that you find to that apparent obstacle, that is the key that unlocks your blessings, that unlocks your destiny. Right? Think about it. Like the greatest struggles are usually, it's the energy of Chiron, right? The wounded healer, right? The wound that we can never fully heal, but that is the medicine that we share with the world. The bus again, exactly. All right. So it's this energy of, think about it. People develop healing modalities because they're chronically ill, right? We talked about the walk-ins and the near-death experiences that facilitate that energy shift. Spiritual awakenings, these powerful catalysts of energy. People become counselors, trauma counselors, because they've been through unspeakable trauma. And they have the ability to guide other people through that darkness. All right? So, your greatest struggle is your greatest blessing. And if you feel like you're just going after struggle after struggle after struggle right now, it's because you are being trained. You are in training, my dear. For your purpose, North Node, boom shakalaka. All right. Remember, we got Venus on the bottom of the deck too. All right. This is self-love. This is wealth. This is prosperity. This is creativity. Yeah. Absolutely, Dee. Agreed. Yeah. And there's such an activation of life purpose right now with the North Node in Pisces, right? Especially right now as she's connecting with Saturn. She's connecting with, Venus, still distantly to Neptune as well. There's been this first half of 2025 has been like a major life purpose activation. aligning us with our soul, right? And Pluto and Mars are assisting in that process of shaking out where that lower ego consciousness, that level of our will, right? Where that's sort of interfering with the process, I guess you could say. And everybody's going through an initiation with that, right? For some people, they're falling more deeply into their lower will, and the journey that creates for them, that's their initiation, right? That's their struggle. That's what leads them to their breaking point. Yeah. Oh yeah, you and your daughters are Pisces and you're loving it. I love that. So it's been a pleasant energy for you. I like that. Saturn can be challenging. Saturn's been in your sign for a little while now. So you're in the completion of that energy, or you're moving toward you are in the completion, because Saturn enters Aries, right? On, what is it, the 24th, I think. Oh, thank you, Plune. I love you so much. So yeah, really coming into alignment with that purpose. So if you are going through difficulties right now, I want you to really think about the difficulties in your life. What are they teaching you? What are they showing you? What is being demanded of you by those circumstances? What are you being pushed to learn? What resources are you being pushed to cultivate? All right. I've used this example, I think, before, of how I had Saturn sitting on my Jupiter for like the past year, basically, right around my Jupiter. And how all the limitations and the restriction and all of this slowdown of energy, right? And how it really pushed me to work toward mastery of reality creation, because there were so many ways that Saturn was limiting my reality to a sense, right? I'm giving my power away to the planet when I say that, right? But this is the energy dynamic that Saturn was offering me as a lesson, right? As an invitation. It was that process of my reality appearing to become more limited so that I could step into the role of learning how to expand it, right? That was the lesson. And so I've learned a lot about reality creation in the past year, and I'm going to continue to share that with you as I go. I shared in little tidbits here or there, right? We talk about it with the brain, with the rewiring of the brain and all of that. That's stepping into some of that. About the manifesting, right? Acting as if, role playing. There's so many different aspects and energies to it, releasing all those belief systems. And there will be a course about this at some point. I'm still playing, right? But it's been quite a journey. And that there was hardship that was the impetus to really push me into that. Like, okay, what are my tools? What are my tools that I'm not using? Right? Hello, CB Wildcat. Hello, Kiba. What are my tools that I'm not using? How can I apply those better? What new tools do I need in my toolbox, and where can I find that information? Where can I find that wisdom? You know? And it also helped me see and understand where it was that I was forcing things, where it was that I was out of alignment, and where it is that I was just coming at things from a completely lopsided perspective. So much from the masculine energy. Let's see. Yeah, I'm sure you would do. Yeah. That's beautiful, Ty. I love that. Well, we'll send you some love here, Kat. And we can get rid of pugs there. Thank you. Yeah. We don't deal with that nonsense on here. If you are here and you have the intention to just be loving and be open, and you wish to grow and heal and learn and simply connect with other individuals on that path of healing, then you're in the right place, Kat. And we welcome you. Patreon, it's the Cosmic Rebel Tribe, Mystic Ray. And there's a link It's in the description box. I think Annika will try to share it in the chat. Sometimes it doesn't work on I can't remember if it's phone or computer that it works on or versus doesn't work on. But it's also in the description box of all the videos. And I'll post the links after this. I'll post the Patreon link and any other links as well. Yes, absolutely. We are in the closing. We're in the final few minutes here. So I am going to actually, what do I want to? I want to close with a white light oracle card here. So that's what I'm going to do. And my childcare person today is very exact and timely. So we have to be done exactly at 3. Clear. Well, we are happy to have you, Kat. We appreciate you. You are seen and heard here. You are loved and appreciated. Hello, Dark Salazoni. Welcome. See, let's get a closing card here from the White Light Oracle. Closing energy. Okay. All right. So isn't it interesting how similar these two cards look? I'm feeling this energy of love coming in for someone too. Because notice how we have one and it's like this darker, more dull color, and then we have the 2 in this vibrant energy. So there's something with that. There's like healing coming in through relationship for somebody, I'm feeling. This could be some type of twin flame activation here. Remember, inner union precedes outer union, the union of our own inner masculine and feminine. So we're going to read this card here, the Beatitude of Sacred Rapture. And this says, let your true self be seen. Search for the deeper spiritual purpose and opportunity for healing beneath conflict and suffering. If you have been in pain, this oracle brings a message of a joyful breakthrough. This is so perfect after the reading today, right? Your soul is growing stronger and more able to have faith in wisdom than in judgment or doubt. Commit to your spiritual path and know you are making progress, even if things seem more difficult for a time. Know that any such difficulty is part of your healing and that you will successfully move through it. Trust yourself. It's exactly what we were just saying, right? I love how it all ties together. Let's see. It says, to feel that you are fully seen, loved, and recognized for who you are honors your true self. To be witnessed in such a state, truly beheld in all of your uniqueness, quirkiness, vulnerability, and strength is deeply empowering. This is how Spirit sees you. So when you connect with Spirit, you learn to love yourself and others unconditionally and become generous with your forgiveness. You are also less likely to be hoodwinked by ego. You start to see yourself and others at the soul level. When we are beheld, the need to behold arises. Ooh. We need to bear witness to the sacred, to acknowledge what is true, which means cutting through the fog of illusion, deception, and confusion with the clarifying knife of higher perception. Where's that Queen of Swords there? I love that. There is quantum power in pure vision. It empowers the viewer and also that which is viewed. Seen from a position of inner spiritual truth, we look below the surface, which has alchemical potency to set healing in motion. So I love that. This is giving us a deepening to the energy and the relevance of the Queen of Swords as well. What vision of yourself or others do you either cling to or free yourself from? How might your choice either encourage or impede soul awakening? When life is tough, you can admire the courage it takes to grow. There is a compliment inherent in being allotted life challenges. If something big has shown up on someone's path, then the universe is basically saying that they are enough of a spiritual badass to deal with it. It's a vote of divine confidence. If you or another are battling something, you can choose to feel awe and respect rather than fear and despair. Rapture is a state of intensely pleasurable joy that lifts one into communion with the sublime and the sacred. Ooh, I love that. I'm going to read that again. Rapture is a state of intensely pleasurable joy that lifts one into communion with the sublime and the sacred. It is not only a personal experience, but also a transfusion of divine delights. Ooh, I like that, divine delight, into the collective soul of humanity. This is the kind of joy that is generous, soulful, without reason or agenda, and delightfully contagious. It is a wake-up call. It shifts any stubborn clinging to negativity. It refreshes the soul and nourishes the heart. It reminds us that everything is okay. Rapture is the astonishment, the sudden intake of breath, in response to an inner realization of something beautiful and beyond description. It tears us out of our misery and despair and plugs us into an electrical current of enlightenment. The darkness is cleared in an instant. A beatitude is a blessing, the highest blessing. The oracle of beatitude of sacred rapture brings guidance that the beautiful healing truth of spirit is your reality. All else is a nightmarish misuse of imagination by the ego. When you sense spirit at work in your life, totally trustworthy and having your back, you are seen clearly. So that's that energy that we were talking about, of being in flow. When your hopeful heart feels empowered, you are in a zone of truth. Trust in those moments. Recall them whenever you can. Count all your positive moments and wins, no matter how inconsequential they may appear. Every one of them is a precious drop of divine nectar nourishing your heart. Allow yourself to see and be seen. And remember that even in the tremors, trials, and tribulations of human life, you are a radiant soul who is growing ever more luminous through the wisdom, compassion, and strength distilled through those experiences. Look for the light beneath all phenomena, and you shall know the peace and love that is with all beings, always. That's so beautiful. And so this is simply, I think that the process here is all about connecting and breathing into your heart center. Yeah. That's what I'm feeling there. It's just breathing. That came through on our Patreon call. There was a beautiful transmission that came through surrounding love and the healing power of love, and how it said something like, what did it say, you guys who were there? It's the energy of how in the presence of true divine love, only perfection can exist. And so it was this, just the power of sending yourself, placing your palms upon your chest and sending yourself love. The healing power of that, and how that ripples out into the whole universe. All right. And how it's that simple. Let's see. And so this card, real quick, Solve Polluti 741 Hertz, to close here, says, tune into your heart and you will be able, so once again, to find your way through any negative or toxic situation. Engage in self-healing and space clearing. Commit to regular practices that help you connect to your inner light. Your light shall not be overcome by any darkness or negativity. Take time to clean your heart and mind of negativity by focusing on the divine beings that bring joy to your heart. It is appropriate for you to desire your own personal and sacred space and access it daily. So that's that energy of rest, unplugging, taking that time out, right? And the frequency of 741 hertz is recommended to clear. It helps to clear pollutants and toxins, helps free the hold of negativity and allow the natural way of bright, beautiful manifestation to unfold. It also helps to clear infections and electromagnetic radiation from the body. And in today's world, we need as much of that as we can get. It also attunes one to the harmonics of the quantum field, the reorganizing principle of the higher self, which knows what you are and how to dislodge and disengage from that which is inauthentic and obstructive to your radiant being. Let's see. So final words here. When this oracle appears in a reading, it is a call to clear yourself and your space in ways that feel affirming, inspiring, and beautiful for you. Trust that no matter how much gunk the ego-driven actions of humans might generate, it is no match for the power of spirit at play in willing human hearts. May all such hearts join with spirit and with each other to clear and bless all creatures for the greatest good. And as we're closing today, let's take a moment, and this is actually going to lead right into what you're saying, Maka. Let's take a moment together to center into our hearts. Just place your hands, rub your hands together maybe. Generate that heat. Blow into them. Place them upon your heart center. Breathe into that energy. I want you to breathe in the healing intention, the pure, beautiful, benevolent healing intention of everyone in this collective. And I want you to breathe out the intention that everyone receive the healing that they desire, that everyone remember the beauty and the truth and the perfection of who they are. Breathing in and receiving those beautiful healing intentions, breathing out and sending. And let's take a few rounds of breath here together. And then one round as we bring in that healing energy and we breathe it out to the entire cosmos. Breathing in that love from the cosmic mother, the great mother, all of creation. And breathing out our intention to reciprocate that love. All right, I love you all so much. Thank you for being here with me today. Hello, Indigo Spirit. It's beautiful to see you as well. I love you all. 741 hertz. That's right, D. Yeah, I'm going to work with that today as well because I could use a little clearing myself. We all could, couldn't we? I love that. Kat said, no matter how dark it gets, I always look for a light switch. Amen, mama. That's right. All right. Yes, check out the replay. It was a great stream today. I love you all so much. April is going to be intense, but we're here for it. We're here for it. And May is going to be fucking phenomenal. Just so we all know. Like, I am so excited, but I'm also present here right now, right? Every moment is beautiful if we allow it. Oh, 417 hertz as well. It's so funny that popped up as I was closing this. So 741, 417. And then 174. Isn't it interesting how those numbers, and that's the cat. I wonder if that's the frequency that cats purr at. I wonder if that's why the kitty's on here. For those who enjoy binaural beats and other things. Clear. All right. I'll talk to you all soon. Next stream should be Wednesday at 2 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're going to shoot for keeping that date, but we're also going to be open to the flow. All right. So I'll keep you guys posted. All right. Love you much. And welcome to everybody who's new. We're so happy to have you all with us. And definitely, if the Patreon link didn't work, if any of you guys want to join the Patreon or the membership, the information is in the description box below. And also, yes, Miranda, who is part of the channel membership, the top tier channel membership on here, I'll send you the contact information for the Patreon too. All right. Bye.